Shalom, shalom. First off, we want to start off by giving all the glory, infinite praise, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rehakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect that is out there pushing this truth in all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, giving diligence to make your calling of election sure. Shalom. This is your brother Hashah from the Great Millstone Savannah Camp, coming back in the spirit with another lesson. Lord willing, I pray and hope that it is edifying and exhorting. And I want to do this lesson, just going into Daniel in the lion's den, all right, and the miracles that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will perform, all right, in the days of Jacob's trouble, all right, in the day of his visitation. And we have to kind of tap into these accounts, all right, and this is a beautiful account, okay, that we should have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, okay, because we're coming into a time of great persecution, great peril is coming upon the planet Earth, as the modern day Chaldeans are boasting, all right, in their in their witchcraft, in their cunningness, all right, in their cunningly devised devices, and so we have to trust in the Lord in these days, man. All right, so it says Daniel chapter 6, and Daniel, just the background on it. Daniel was in the I believe the Babylonian Empire. All right, it says verse 3, it says, then this Daniel was preferred above presidents and princes because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and the princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, that they could find none, but they could find none occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of God. So they knew, all right, that concerning Judith, the 5th chapter, that the really the Achilles heel of our nation was the law, all right, was the the contract in which Yahweh Bashem Yahushai agreed, and we agreed, all right, to follow his ways, okay. So they, this is how we're gonna get him to off his square. Same thing here, same thing in the modern day Babylon, where Esau, Edom, the so-called white man is gonna enforce, all right, who is the modern day Babylonians, the modern day Chaldeans, all right, the modern day Egyptians, Assyrians, they're gonna try to force you to disobey the law, all right, which it's a law, it's a commandment, all right, not to take the MOTB, all right, unless you be thrust into the lake of fire, all right, and filled up that cup of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's indignation. It says, then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said unto him, King Darius, live forever. Oh, it's King Darius, Slakia. All right, it says, all the presidents of the kingdom and the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whatsoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. All right, so I think this is the Medo-Persian Empire. All right, yeah, this is Salakia, not the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, Salakia. It says, wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in the chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before Yahweh, before his power, right, as he did aforetime. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his power. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is one of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he had heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him, right? To go and, to basically go and get him. All right, it says, then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persian is, and no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed. Okay, so it was basically a law that couldn't be changed, right? It says, then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the lions den. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God, thy power, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. So the king, really he didn't want to do it, but he had already signed that law, right? But he basically exhorted Daniel and told him, he was like, man, your God gonna save you, which is it's probably the Lord speaking through him, of course it was. It says, and a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went into the palace and passed the night fasting. So even the king fasted for Daniel. It says, neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Right? He couldn't even sleep. It says, then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the lion's den. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O king, O Daniel, servant of the living power, is thy power, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions? Then Daniel said unto the king, O king, live forever. My power hath sent his angel and have shut the lion's mouth. The lion's mouths. So it was multiple lions. That they should not have hurt me. That they should not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then the king was exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no matter of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his power. All right. So, hey, that's beautiful, man. So Daniel was delivered from his den. All right, he was delivered, from lions, from the mouth of lions, hungry lions, which, a lion will devour you. you know, especially if not fed and you're in a room with them. You have different videos of people, um, crawling into lions den and getting mauled. Okay, but it said that no hurt was done to Daniel. All right, and this is the expected end that we should have for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, that we should have the reputation, of the Lord, knowing that He does these things. Right. Now I wanted to get Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith Yahweh, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." Right? In the NLT it says, "For I know the plan that I have for you, says Yahweh. They are plans for good, not for disaster, to give you a future and not to give you a future and hope." All right, so the Lord is giving us a future and hope, especially right now in these times. Right? And I wanted to get and that's beautiful because I was just having this conversation with my rib, about the future and this AI technology, and she was, expressing her frustration with technology and how she's tired of it. All right, well, I was telling her that it's a tool, it's just a tool, and it's useful for the time being. All right, and for certain things we tap into it. All right, but we know the real future. All right, we know that AI intelligence is not the future. We know that the kingdom of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is about to be established on earth. So that's what we're waiting on, man. Our hope is in that, man. Our hope is in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right. So I went and got that word expected. It says a chord. It says hope, expectation, hope, ground of hope, things hoped for, the outcome. All right. So the Lord is going to give you a hopeful outcome, man. All right. Not one where you're swallowed up. Not one where Esau Edom gets the victory over you. As long as you keep the faith. All right. As long as you endure. It says hope. It says live, thing that I longed for, right? And what do we in this truth we long for? We long for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right, a kingdom, okay, sovereignty, all right, rulership. The earth being set back in order, the earth being restored. This is what we need, okay. I got the root word of this. Right, what's the root word? Kwawa, right? Kwawa. It says to wait, to look for, right? To wait eagerly or look eagerly for, right? And this is what we do. We hasten the day of the coming of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. It says to collect, to bind, to be collected. All right. What else? I had this last precept, Philippians 1:18. It says, "And it does not matter. I am happy about it. Just so," and this is the GNT, GNTD. It says, "Just so Hamashiach is preached in every way possible, whether from wrong or right motives, and I will continue to be happy." Yeah, you can do nothing against the truth before the truth. These people are coming against us, but they can't do anything against this truth, man. It says, "Because I know that by means of prayers and the help which comes from the spirit of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, I shall be set free." Okay, and we are going to be set free. Some of us is slated to be thrown into prisons. All right, some of us are slated to be beheaded. All right, but the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will free us from prison, and He will also free us from the grave. All right, as He has conquered the grave. Verse 20, it says, "My deep desire and hope is that I shall never fail in my duty, but that at all times, and especially right now, I shall be full of courage, so that with my whole being I shall bring honor to Hamashiach, whether I live or die." Right? For what is life? To me, it is Hamashiach. Death then will bring more. you know. So death will bring more. What is more? In your patience possession your souls. Being patient, waiting on the Lord. Okay. Loving not your lives until the death. Okay. This type of faith, all right, is what we're gonna need to make it through. It says full of courage. All right, I want to get that in the NLT because I think it's a little different. Not the NLT, in the KJV. Right. It says, "According to my earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Hamashiach shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death." Okay, so our expectation and hope is in Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, whether it be in life or be in death, He is our end all be all, right? Our high priest and our mediator in the heavens. So Lord willing, this was edifying and exhorting. I want to end off by giving all the glory, infinite praise and honor unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rahak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect that is out there pushing this truth in all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, giving diligence to make your call and election sure. Shalom and a Bible ball.